people that are able to take calculated risk. I want to become a billionaire, for example. How are you going to become a billionaire? You said something. You said saving is different from investment. Fantastic. A lot of people think saving is investment. What do I want to achieve in the short term, in the medium term, and on the long term? What about money goals? I'll use myself as an example. When I set my goals for the year, I also have my money goals included into the goals for the year. So you have things like planning for family, planning for your career, planning for your business. For someone like me, my money goals align with my business goals too. Because if you're someone that is into business, basically, it's quite difficult to separate the two in terms of money goals. As a business person, for example, whatever your business makes also translates to what you make as a person. So when I plan for the business to make money, I know that some of the money the business is going to make is also going to be my own money. So as I'm planning for the business, I'm also planning for myself. I'm estimating, for example, what revenue my businesses are going to make if I own 2, 3, 4 businesses. How much is going to come from business A, business B, business C, and business D. That in itself then drills down to how much am I going to make from the business or from the businesses, and how much am I going to take from the business for myself, and then how much do I reinvest back into the business. I mean, if you're someone that works or has a job, then what you need to do is basically you plan based on your income. For example, you're making 500,000 naira a month. You need to sit down and basically create a budget. What are your expenses? What can you afford to save? And what are you even saving for? You said something. You said saving is different from investment. Fantastic. A lot of people think saving is investment, but there are two different things. You can save money in the bank and it's not giving you anything, but you can keep money aside and keep in interest yielding ventures, whether it's an agricultural investment, whether it's in a fixed deposit, of some sort, a placement of some sort, whether it's traditional, whether it's digital. It's just you keeping some money aside and generating interest on it. So it's critical that we distinguish that. Then you also need to decide, what do you want to use this money for? Are you keeping it for emergency? Are you keeping the funds because maybe you want to buy a car, you want to buy a house, there's something you want to purchase? If you know where you're going to, then you can plan with your income and know how long it's going to take you to get that thing. For example, you want to save for something that's going to cost 5 million and you're earning a certain amount of money. You know that for you to be able to get to that 5 million, the minimum you have to keep is a certain amount so that you're able to get to that 5 million. Somebody said building wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. So you have to begin to look at long-term plans. What you want to become, or where you see yourself being long-term. A lot of people are looking for quick fixes, and that's why Ponzi schemes are very prevalent, especially in countries that there's a high level of poverty. It's been proven over time that Ponzi schemes are always very successful in those type of countries because people want to get rich quickly, and that's not the way it works. It's a gradual process. So if you're building wealth, you have to understand that it's something that is long term. So when you're planning your money goals or you're sitting down to have money goals, you should be saying to yourself, what do I want to achieve in the short term, in the medium term, and on the long term? But if it's wealth that you're heading to, there's something that you want to become, then that's a long-term goal. I want to become a billionaire, for example. How are you going to become a billionaire? For me, I don't know of other people. Every billionaire I know right now is a businessman. So you must establish a business, and your business is not going to make you that billionaire in day 1 or day 2. You must establish that fact that a lot of discipline and hard work is going to be required for you to build a business and then grow over time. What people also fail to realize is that because the business is not delivering in year 1 doesn't mean the business is a failure. It's not delivering in year 2, doesn't mean it is a failure. Some businesses take 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, before it gets to where they actually need to get to. So there's something I also say, as long as a business can give you a revenue of, for example, 10,000 or 20,000 in a certain month, it means that that business has the capacity to grow. And if you pay attention to that business and give it enough time and effort, you will find out that you are capable of growing the revenue of that business. And if, as you grow the revenue of the business, you're also able to grow the profit of the business. And once you're growing the profit of the business, it means you're on your way to wealth. So that's long term. When you talk about short and medium term, you want to maybe have an emergency fund. That's more where more of saving and investing comes in. Looking for the right kind of places to keep money to yield you the right kind of interest, on those monies. The typical saying around investments is always trying to look for places where you can invest your money and they can pay you interest at competitive rates hovering around inflation rates. Because if you don't have something hovering close to the inflation rate, then you're going to be losing money technically. It's a gradual process. You're able to turn that money around, build up, and maybe purchase what you want to buy. If it's a house, the first property I got, that was how I bought it. In fact, I remember selling my car. It was during COVID. Somebody said, "Oh, don't you think you should get a piece of land?" I was like, still thinking about it, if it was the right decision or not. And then, it was COVID era. People were not really driving their cars. And I said to myself, "Oh, I've got 2 cars in the house. I'm not going to work. I'm working from home. I don't think I need 2 cars, And I ended up selling my car. There was a second car in the house, which was not technically mine too, but it was something I could use sparingly. But I sold that car, deposited for the land, and eventually paid off, the land. And I was without a car for probably about maybe a year and a half. But when I sit back now and look at such a decision, when I did it, some people thought I was crazy. They said, "Why would you sell your car? How are you going to get another one?" I was pretty confident that I was going to get another one because I knew I had a business. I knew the business had begun to make money, and I knew it was just a matter of time before I got another one.